G'day folks, welcome to a nice little Monday afternoon update. Well, what can I say, I've been busy. I know I've been getting tons of private messages that I still need to work through, but unless it's really important, just don't feel left out if I don't get back to you on it. I still read them. I read all my private messages, so a lot of the just the thanks and appreciation messages, I don't always get a chance to reply to them, but they're always appreciated, so thanks to those of you who have messaged me recently. I will try and get back through it this weekend, but the weather's been so good lately, I've just been outside working on cars and things. Although it was a bit wet on Saturday, or even Sunday. Sorry, I just ate, so not the best time to be talking, but yeah, I did a bit of work on Sunday and that sort of thing, and that worked out alright. Sorry, not Sunday, Monday. That was the week before then. Damn it, that's how busy I've been. I'm just completely confused about what week it is. Public holiday was the week before. So, yeah, either way. Saturday, did a lot of work on cars, that sort of stuff. And it was raining, so I was sort of halfway in between inside here working stuff out and working out what to do with my new car and everything. Well, picking it up and paperwork and that sort of thing. But we got all that sorted. And yeah, day job's pretty busy, and buying another car, obviously got no money, so I'm focusing more on work and getting rid of other cars because I want to get the micro finish, like put the new radiator and hoses on that and just sell it as it is, with a roadworthy of course. So I might be able to get 1900 bucks for it with a roadworthy. That'll definitely pay for most of what I just spent on the RAV4, which is what I got. A lot of those of you who did guess it, I think all three of you, you get a cookie. Again, it might be stale, the rats might have nibbled on it, but you won a cookie for guessing that I actually bought a RAV4, which is one of the cars that I've always wanted, pretty much since it came out, or at least maybe shortly after, I don't know. Yeah, so moving cars around, get rid of the Daewoo. The Daewoo's got its roof and everything chopped off now. I'm ready to split the floor pan across and section the back half into quarters, and take the beam axle and everything out, the twist beam axle, and use that for something else. So yeah, the Daewoo's getting almost completely used up as parts, apart from the front end suspension and other miscellaneous stuff. The engine and everything will be autopsied when I get time. But yeah, that's pretty good. Work's going to be busy. My supervisor Terry injured himself on the weekend. Yeah, he done his knee in, so he was in for like 15 minutes this morning hobbling around, and then he took off again, so he's out. We sacked one of the other machine operators who was casual anyway. Very good machinist, had experience with surface grinding precision stuff, but absolutely ruined by a bad attitude and a bad work ethic, so you get them, he had to go. Pete's off on holiday for a week, so there's another engineer down. Jai's off for 3 days, so there's another engineer down for all but Thursday and Friday. So I'm pretty much the only full-time engineer or metal shop worker there. So it's just me, my foreman, our design engineer from up in the office working with us, just doing drilling and other operations. Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed crew, but we're still pushing work out pretty damn good. So that means Friday work for me, and that helps paying off $2,500 worth of car, which is what I've got today. It's not often you find a RAV4 Cabrio 98 with new tyres and everything on it for $2.5 grand. I know, I don't think the ad's on car sales anymore, it's too dark out there to film it, but that's basically what we're dealing with. That was another one I was looking at about a month before. That was going for about 6-7 grand. That was pretty good. Mileage was a little bit high, and being a new VVTi engine, I don't know how well they age. I know the Corolla, the current one that I've got, has the 3S FE engine in it, which is in Camrys and Light Aces and 1,001 different other Toyotas, even models that we don't get, and I know they're pretty well bulletproof, up to over 300,000 Ks. I even know one guy who did the rural mail run in the US somewhere and got something like 500,000 Ks on his. I think he did the head once, and this one's had the head off at 174,000. It's done 210,000 now, I think, or something like that. It's literally, yeah, I think it's done 210. There's a thing there. yeah, it's just rolled over to 210, so it's done a few thousand Ks since it was checked out, but that's basically it. Standard package, or sorry, full optioned package with 6 CD changer and everything in the dash, and really good air conditioning. It's the only car I've ever bought that had perfect air conditioning. Oh, apart from the Skyline. I had an old 85 MR30 slant back Skyline, the Japanese made one, and that had really good air conditioning straight off the bat as well. So that car and this one, the RAV4, are the only ones I bought that I didn't have to fix the air conditioning on. So without showing any personal information on the other side of the pages, that was 2011. As you can see, that was after that was written up, I think. No, there's another sheet somewhere which says what was wrong with it before that was carried out, where it got the 100% pass. But yeah, that was in 08 at 173,000, just after the head was done on it. So the battery was loose, seat belts were twisted, Parker was dull on the left hand front, wiper blades were worn, and the front brake hoses were cracked. So that was all done. I do have the receipt somewhere for that. It's part of that one. Or that one. No, that one there. That's part of it there. So that's gone over it as well. What was the total on that one? 291. So that's what they did there. Replace blades, replace Parker, that sort of stuff. Inspection and quote. In roadworthy it's more expensive than that now. I paid 150 for my last one. That was when the head was done. 2008. Alex just commented. Thank you, Alex, for spurring me on, because yeah, I was talking to him about it and showing him on Skype, and he just said, get it, get it, get it. So yeah, thank you, Alex993cc1, for recognising another good car. I know a lot of people don't like RAV4s or Toyotas, but I like them. They even misspelt Toyota. That's funny. And they misspelled it on that one too. Yeah. This guy, I kind of feel sorry for him spending all this money on it and barely ever been able to use it, because I think they let the... oh, they used it a bit after this. It's gone up to from 174 to 210, and that was about it. So it's got the VRS kit in it, it's got the timing belt done on it, which is good. That was a big question mark when I was looking at it. The engine was very low on oil, like just off the dipstick. So that was the big question mark. That's why I talked the price down a bit. That was the big unknown. It's still, the top end still makes it sound like a diesel, but I'm going to take the cover off and just adjust everything again. So she might have had a low oil incident at one point, but even when he first started it for me on the day, like I was going to check it first, but he started it up and it just sounded loud. So I checked the dash, no light. Popped the dipstick, no oil on the end of it, or at least a drop on the end of the dipstick. So I promptly shut it off and left it up until now, and just lowballed the offer and got it very cheap. So if worse comes to worse, I can throw a 3S GTE in it, or a 3S GE or something, which is what I was talking to Alex about. Even a 3S GE, and the previous owner said he considered the same thing, because he's got a Porsche 933 or something like that, and he said he was looking at buying a engine swap or something for it, but it never happened. So yeah, it's had a fair bit of stuff done. They did the plastics on it and basically never used it, so the back window's a bit UV damaged, but the side ones are really good. Yeah, 2011, second 2011. Yeah, that was roadworthy certificate test. Again, a fair bit of money tied up in cars, especially in Australia. You've got to go through all this roadworthy stuff. Hopefully it gives you a bit of insight. On the other side of the sheet's just personal details and the tester's details and all that sort of stuff. Phone numbers, other stuff I don't want people to have. But as you can see, yeah, that was the biggest job at 174,000 as the head. They recode the radiator at the same time, and I checked the cooling system before we went. It hasn't had coolant for a while, but it's still fine. Holds pressure, works fine, stays cool, just under halfway on the gauge. So there wasn't an issue with that. I don't think it's ever overheated since this has been done. But yeah, Rico radiator is probably connected to why the head failed. It probably had a side tank leak, or top tank in this case. The tanks aren't on the side. But yeah, they probably had a coolant leak incident and cooked it. So It's been done. It doesn't need a timing belt kit as soon as I thought it would. Like, I was prepared to buy a timing kit and put it in myself. But the other thing is losing power, and just not an engine issue but a clutch issue. I think the clutch is slipping but not shuddering. So I'm definitely going to get that looked at in the next week. I'll just drive it to a garage, or my friend's garage, and get him to look at it. But yeah, I accelerate and you hear a high-pitched whistle, like a squeal. Not so much a throw-out bearing. You don't hear a grind or a scream when you push the clutch out fully. But when you accelerate, the revs go up, but the acceleration doesn't. So something's slipping in there, and there's only really one thing, and that'll be the clutch. So there's a whistly sound, loss of acceleration, and erratic revs from the engine. Everything just screams clutch failure, so that's not a big deal. It might get a little bit expensive, but again, when you buy a car this cheap, that's to be expected. So front rotors need remachining. They were new, but they're glazed and have rust and shit all over them, so it's kind of like, yeah, it just shakes the steering wheel a bit, thump, 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 like a machine gun at 90 kilometres an hour. It's a bit disconcerting, but she always stopped, turned really well, accelerated pretty well. Towards the end, it started to get a bit like, I'm going to nurse you home, and that's about it. But coming out of, where did I get it from? Gould Street in Frankston, just down by the sea. Just coming out of there, she was really perky and good, but the clutch went downhill fairly quick, so I'm going to take it to one of our local garages and just get a good friend to look at it. So he's done a lot of work on Terry's car and everything, and a full pre-roadworthy inspection only cost me $50, so that's money well spent. He gives me a nice long list of things to look at, and I don't have to really question anything. Anyway, nice long ramble for you. Just thought I'd have a look at that, and then we'll look at the car itself on a nice sunny day. It's too dark out in the carport to do it now. Yeah. What else can I say? I've got oodles of stuff to get through, but working things out in here isn't going to happen for a while. There's so much to work through. I know people want to see me pick through the pile of laptops, and I know people want parts off some of them, but God, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. One day I'll get bored. I really need a set of power driver bits that are small enough to work on laptops, and just get another cheap little electric screwdriver to go with that, and just buzz them all apart with the power driver, because right now using jeweler's screwdrivers is painfully slow. Like, I'd barely get through a few of those in a night if I was carefully picking parts out and wrapping them and putting them into inventory, that sort of thing, into boxes. Yeah, they're very tedious. It's one thing about laptops that, as a little kid, they were great fun to pull to bits. The old brick laptops were great fun to pull to bits, but I had a lot more spare time back then. God, the things I used to tear down to every nut and bolt, every little screw. Big, chunky, old-fashioned VHS players were the best for that. Millions of little bits. Like, I just had boxes and boxes of bits that never got used and eventually got thrown out, but hey, it was fun. I'm sure a lot of you watching this channel probably wouldn't be if you hadn't spent half your childhood finding things and pulling them to bits. So yeah, as you can see, there's just crap everywhere that needs to be sorted out. Really is. But that'll come soon. Anyway, what did I get up to there? Oh, I replaced power lead. Circular saws and power leads. You're supposed to leave the lead on the saw, but not do that. So yeah, I replaced that lead. It's all really hard, crappy PVC anyway, so I put a nice new 10 ampere on it. Anyway, well and truly enough rambling. What have we got? 14 minutes. People are going to love this. Anyway, stoked that I got me one of my dream cars. I know there's a lot of, everyone dreams about sports cars and things, but to be honest, I couldn't really care about Ferraris and Porsches. I'd buy one day when I got lots of disposable income, but to be honest, I'd rather something a bit more conservative and funky. Yeah, so if you've guessed Mazda MX-5 or Suzuki Sierra or that sort of thing, nope. Sierra's close. Yeah, I think the Sierra and the Jeep and all that were the original micro four-wheel drives, but they're all ladder frame chassis with live axles. The RAV4 kind of made the bridge between passenger car and four-wheel drive. So there's really, it was quite groundbreaking in its time, and today there are just so many different competitors. Every manufacturer has at least one small mini SUV. But back then, there was only one. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. You know it's going to keep up, especially with the rate things are going.